Well, hello there, hi there, welcome to Just Bird. Today's video is a tarot tag, and I believe it was started by the Hermit's Cave. So hello to Simon at the Hermit's Cave. I believe this is a spin-off from Katie Flower's original tag years and years ago when she was still available on YouTube. Anyhow, I thought I would jump back in and create some content. Here on the channel. Now, these are 10 decks that won't leave for life, and let's just get started. First, the Inner Eye Oracle Cartomancy deck by Stephen Bright. This reads so well. Can we focus? Apparently not. So, let me just grab my other camera and face it down so that you can see the cards. But this deck is great for practical use. It's three cards answers your questions. It's predictive. It's guidance. It's whatever you need it to be, whenever you need it to be it. And it is probably top 5 favorites of all time. It's never like going to leave my collection. I love it. I love it. Love it. These decks aren't leaving because they serve purposes. And 10 decks for me is difficult because I work in groups, deck groups, right? Like this tarot, this oracle, this and that in combination all create a group of decks that work seamlessly together for me for specific purposes. That's how I work with my cards. It's different usually every time that I read, but who cares? These decks are not going. This is the Unfinished Business by MJ Cullinane, and everyone has probably already seen this. It's a beautiful deck. Like I said, I'm going to grab my other camera, and I'll be right back. All right, so like I said, Unfinished Business by MJ Cullinane. What a great presentation for a deck. This stays in my collection because it serves a purpose for spirit communication and communicating with the ancestors. I just love this, and it goes in combination with the haunts. So neither of these are going anywhere either, and they look so well together. They just work perfectly for me. Anyhow, one of my favorite decks by MJ. Safe for now. What I've learned along the lines is that no deck is actually safe in my collection. That any of these can go at any time, and I could get rid of my entire collection. But there are 2 decks. These 2 decks that will forever be with me if I decide to quit, if I decide to purge, if I decide to never pick up another deck of cards again. These 2 will forever be with me, and I'll share them in a moment. I'll just give you a little peek at the haunts first, because they work so well together. The Unfinished Business with the Haunts by La Panthère Studios, and the artwork is by Stacey Williams. She's an award-winning author and illustrator. So these just work really nicely in combination together and bring a lot of insight. So I like the messages, but so this is safe. Like I said, for now. They're all safe for now. What's left on my shelves. Everything else is binned up. Even decks that are in my forever collection, whatever that looks like, right? Since my son moved back, my son moved in with me a couple of weeks ago, so I was in the middle of decluttering my entire home, gathering up the last of my Goodwill donations when I got the knock on the door. So I have a semi-permanent, maybe temporary, just don't know how long he'll be staying with me, and no rush to have him leave, to be honest. And life changes. So don't ever give up 5 minutes before the miracle. All right. And like I said, Stephen Bright's Inner Eye Oracle, it just is phenomenal as far as the messages that you receive. And they're very direct and to the point. Sometimes you don't want to like ponder too much. You just want a direct, straight answer. This is the deck. This is the deck for all of the questions. Doesn't matter what area in life you are asking about. These two decks. All right, we'll start with the very first oracle that I ever owned, and it was gifted to me by my mother, and my mother passed in 2023, so 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 3 years ago on the 8th that she had passed. And this is the Fairyology oracle, and Angela was a personal friend of my mother's, and that's why she gifted me this oracle in particular. So I believe they were students under the same teacher, art teacher. Could have been a philosophy teaching as well, but probably art. So this, I don't really read with it much, but I might begin using this to connect with the energy of my mother. Since this was my first oracle ever, I did round the corners because they're very pointy, and it came with the bag, but I no longer have that bag, and I just keep it in an angel box, and it's just kind of my memento box, like a little keepsake box. And these reside in there along with these. And this is another oracle that was gifted to me from a boyfriend who has also recently, well, not recently, but he passed away in 2021. So he purchased this for me, and it's really the notion behind it in the way that he went about to get this, because it was out of print at the time, and the gesture alone and the energy behind it and the way that he presented it to me is something spectacular that I'll never forget and forever grateful for. So this isn't going anywhere, although I do use it from time to time because it's fun, it's spicy, it's got a little grit, and it works with the 4 elements. So we have the Dirty Tarot, and this is the little guidebook. And who is the creator? Dory Midnight. So there. And these are, what is it, letter, mementos, letters, lighters, everything in here. So there is the back. There are the backs, and here are some of the cards. I don't know if it's really fit for YouTube because it's like I said, it's spicy. Whoopsie. And I like it like that, like spice, and the interpretations thereof from Dory Midnight. Very fun. I love the art. It just takes me back to, I don't know, early 90s, late 80s. Yeah. So I love this. I love it, and I like to read with this. I think I'd like to do a reading with it soon. Just, it's bringing up a lot of nostalgia and memories, delightful ones at that. So that's a pleasure. Same with this. I'd like to maybe do a reading with it and see what comes out. See how they speak to me today. So those are never going anywhere. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decks already out of the way. Another deck that is not going anywhere that was gifted to me is the Raggedy Ann deck. Now, Raggedy Ann, she's kind of a bully, and she's very spicy with Andy. She just really seems to kick the living daylights out of Andy's Tookus in this deck. But the oracle itself is phenomenal, and this is produced by Duck Soup. It is the one deck that I keep from Duck Soup because it was gifted to me, and it was a deck that I really, really wanted, and I love Raggedy Ann. She was a highlight of my childhood, so I appreciate it. But she's always beating the crap out of Andy. Like, look, he's got cast on and everything else. Like, she really like, little bully. It makes Andy's like her whipping boy. But so cute, and the nostalgia of it all I love. So this deck doesn't go anywhere and actually packs a punch. I really truly enjoy this, and it's good for everyday reads. It's good for one card pull. It's good for to lay out and use as a spread deck. It's multiverse. Okay, so it's a wonderful deck. I unfortunately, you know, it is produced by Duck Soup Productions. All right, so if I could only have 10, and that is number 6, that leaves me with 4, and I'm going to share the Symbolian. Why? Because if I could only have 10 decks, I don't just want 10 tarot or 10 oracle. I like to play with the cards, and I love different forms of divination. So this deck allows for you to explore. The astrology of this deck doesn't make any sense to me, but I don't really know what line of astrology they're going by. It just doesn't really, nothing here astrologically speaking lines up for me, but I don't care. The images are where it's at for me because they speak volumes on their own. And this is published by AGM, so the card stack's great. You know, it's thin, but it's shuffleable, and the backings are very dull and mundane, nothing to, you know, write home about, but simple. The gold I like. I love the imagery, and there's like a lot of clownery and trickery within this deck, and you just kind of study the imagery and what's beside of each image, what's above each image pressing down, what's below each image, which, you know, what is the past and what are you looking toward to, or do you have your back turned on the future? Who knows? Are you too busy focusing on the past? This is a storytelling deck by pictures only, and it's phenomenal in my opinion. I really enjoy reading with this, and it just, you know, it's delightful, fun. It's full of spunk. It kind of triggers new wording and ideas for the story at hand, because the imagery because you really are reliant on the imagery. And then since this is like supposed to be a deck of remembrance, there's a lot of tarot association. You can draw upon the strength of the astrological symbols. They just don't make sense to me. They don't make any sense from the very little that I understand about astrology. So, you know, maybe someone that studies astrology, an astrologist, may be able to make sense or may know this system in particular. I'm unfamiliar, and the book is useless. They literally charge like $250 for a course, you know, a tell course that you can take to learn the deck and its symbology, but I'm not interested in that. I love the way that it intuitively reads. I don't want to mess that up because it's really quirky and a whole lot of fun. So much whimsy within this deck. Love it. Not going anywhere. The Out of Hands deck so that's 7. The Out of Hand deck by Jamie Sawyer. It's not going anywhere. Why? Because I had to manifest this into my life because I missed the boat on the original full-size version. And the year that I was like looking was the year that she actually produced this, and I got it. It was either the very last deck of the year or the very first deck of the new year. I think it was the first deck, you know, came in. So I love this perspective, and I have a collection of Jamie Sawyer's decks. I love her art and the imagery. There's a couple that I have passed on. I didn't get her Felt Tarot. I haven't picked up her newest little tea deck of symbols either. I'm planning to, though. If it's there, then I'm lucky enough and fortunate enough to have one. And if it's not, then I guess I missed out. It's not a big deal to me. So that's deck, what, 7, 8? So 9 and 10. Number 9 is the Once Upon a Time Tarot, published by Lo Scarabeo. And this deck is just so good. I choose this over the indie decks. I do. And it's a tie. Like these two decks right here, the Cheeky Tarot and the Once Upon a Time, it's a tie for me. I love this card stock for different reasons, and I like to work with the Cheeky Tarot with the Think Oracle. But the Once Upon a Time Tarot is just so fun. I love it, and I love the card stock. I love everything about this deck. The size, the imagery, those vibrant colors. I don't know what they call the card stock, but it's got whatever core you want to call, whatever. People who know. But it's that pleasant, very satisfying to shuffle card stock. And I'm loving it. But I'll show you because I have arthritis and can barely shuffle most times, but my hands aren't messed up today. It's my elbow that is on fire. So satisfying that I can even do it. The backs, they're fine. You know, I mean, they're fine. I don't really looking at the backs. It's the fronts that I really, it's just so much fun and cartoony, and I love the color palette of this deck. It's just, it brings out happiness and joy. So I like everything about it, and it's kind of that whimsical, childlike energy. And I find the same with the Cheeky Tarot. Like I said, these two are tied, but this one is by Danilo Sanino, and the cardstock is excellent, and the characters are funny, and I just love the images of the characters portrayed. But this is a true clone of the Rider-Waite-Smith. But I enjoy this color palette so much more than the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, even though it does carry many of the original color palette, much of the original color palette. But look at their faces. They remind me of, like, I don't know, Snow White, the Seven Dwarves. Like, look at the green and the hues. I love this. It's so pretty. And the pinks. Look at these. So much fun. And the devil doesn't look intimidating at all. I mean, at all. So yeah, this is just a fun, whimsical deck that gets to stay, but these two are very much in the same boat. All right, I'm going to say the final deck is going to have to be the Poesis. This is safe. But again, this gets worked with in a group of decks, then they're all safe. And two of them, well, there's like, the Think Oracle is safe. This Lenormand Oracle is safe. So is the Sentinel is good, or the Citadel is good. That's safe. The Think Oracle safe. The Healers of the Earth Oracle is safe by Mandy Peterson. Like, these all get worked together or in combination with some of these other decks. So, you know, they get used together. And 10 decks is unfair when you use multiple in one read. But this is safe because I love the Oracle and the messages it's just a really solid, well-balanced oracle and gives a lot of enlightenment and advice, clarity to situations. But the limited non-color palette of it being cream and black, I really appreciate, and I like the imagery. But mostly what I enjoy the most is it's the messages and the depth that you can reach with this particular oracle, in, like I said, in combination with other decks as well. So that's my top 10 for now. Like I said, there's really only 2 decks that are safe within my collection for a substantial amount of time. But even these aren't exactly 100% safe. I can't say that there won't come a time that I feel like I need to let go of the items, right? Like, and not having unhealthy attachment to an item when I have perfectly good, healthy memories that hopefully aren't going anywhere. There's no wood, but let's hope that the memory stays intact for a long time. If you enjoy this content, please do consider to subscribe, like, share, hype, all of the crap for YouTube to